We are starting the Episodic discussion podcast talking about the original Xbox. I had some fond memories with this console. Just recently picked my chip Xbox up and started playing it. So I want to introduce the panel here. So, Kaz, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hey, I'm Kaz, and I have quite a few fond memories about the Xbox. And that's it. That's me.
V, introduce
Hey,
yourself.
what's going on, guys? Vino here. I had a lot of memories with the original Xbox, and probably a game that many has forgotten, but we'll probably remember as the stream goes on.
Brando?
Hi, how's life? Xbox rules. I'm the number one fan. I'm the best spot.
I'm the best spot. Oh my god. And we have, last but not least, me. As I said, Bane is going to be late. He sucks.
I agree.
He's gay. And we're gonna start this off with the questions in the document. So let me see here. Can someone read off question number 1, please?
All right.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt anybody.
All
right.
No, I interrupted you.
Okay. All right. Anyway, what is your experience and memories with the original Xbox?
This is a good one.
I could go first if you guys want, because mine's probably kind of short.
Sure.
Yeah, go right ahead.
My first experience was at my cousin's house in South Carolina. We went to his place, and he had an original Xbox. And then my other cousin also has one though. But my first experience was either playing SmackDown 2003 or playing a Star Wars game that has I think it was based off of the original Clone Wars cartoon, not the one in 2007. I don't remember which was my first experience though, but I had a blast playing with the original Xbox at the time. Especially since I bodied everybody. Yeah, that's it.
So who wants to go next?
Anybody else?
I guess I can go then. So,
Okay.
I recently picked up the original Xbox not too long ago. I think it was like last year when Dom gave me an original Xbox, and I started really getting into it like this year. I didn't have one when that whole generation started with the 6th gen. And I was really interested in the games they were providing. I believe I saw like in a random Blockbuster, they had Fatal Frame to Crimson Butterfly. And I'm like, okay, this game looks cool. I want to buy it. But they didn't have it on the rental stand yet, and I didn't have the console. So that kind of sucks. So I wanted to go back to it when Doom 3 came out, and I played Doom 3 on PC, and I'm like, okay, now I really want to experience all the other stuff that was on the original Xbox, like Halo 2, and all the other third-party games that looked better, because a lot of people said that the original Xbox was the most powerful console that generation. PS2 had a lot of nice games, and the games really sold the console, but the performance from Max Payne 2 on PS2 looked really, really bad compared to the Xbox version. So that's another reason I wanted to get it, for smooth, crisp graphics, and I think it really delivers in that department because it looks like really good these days. So does anyone else want to go?
All right. This happened way back in about 2004, 2005 when I first got my console, and the very first game that I received as a present was Tak and the Great Juju Challenge. Very old game, and I'm pretty sure about 2 to 3 people remember it this day. Well, 4 now, since I just brought it up about a couple of seconds ago. And my second experience, which is probably my most favorite game from the original Xbox, was Marvel Nemesis. This was the time when I was introduced to much more variety in Marvel, which includes Elektra, Human Torch. Actually, no, that was a long time ago. And that's about it. Also Morrowind, but a very poor experience since I was only 5.
I always wanted to play like all the Elder Scrolls games, but I think my friend got me hooked onto it, saying that, oh, you could be a fucking vampire and like slaughter everybody. But at the time, I believe that I just wasn't. I didn't have like the money for games like that, so I will always rent like these demos and shit. And I heard about stuff like on XPlay because they had this fighting game I wanted to play on the original Xbox called Tao Fang Fist of the Lotus. And I played it at a library once, and they said, oh, you know, it's the next best thing like Mortal Kombat, and the game was really ass. So it was something fun to go back to as soon as I got my hands on it.
Wow.
But I guess we can move on to question number 2, which is, how would you rank the Xbox when comparing it to the competition during the 6th generation of consoles, the PS2 and GameCube? What did it do best, and what did it need to improve on? I guess I'll go first since, well,
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'll go next.
Personally, okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not nostalgic for Halo because I didn't experience Halo until the 360.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna let that blind my judgment or whatever. But for me, it would be like above the GameCube, but below the PS2. The PS2 had games, just games. The Xbox has games, but it also had the best versions of said games. So if you want the best content or whatever, you could play the Xbox version though. But if you just want a variety of games, then you have the PS2. The problem with the GameCube is that it has games, has some exclusives though, but a lot of those games could also been played on other platforms, more popular platforms, arguably. And the only thing you could play on Nintendo for the most part is like Nintendo games, and very rarely third-party exclusives.
Yeah, I think the problem with Nintendo was, while the GameCube was a good console, it also lacked stuff like online. I don't know if they later released more GameCube consoles with online components, but I remember Xbox and PS2 was really homing in that fact of playing on broadband and Xbox Live and all that stuff. So that's a feature that it had over GameCube. I would have that same ranking. I love the PS2 to death because of all the fucking games that it had, of all the fucking exclusives. Like Grand Theft Auto was exclusive to the PS2 during that time. That was crazy. But the Xbox was not too shabby because, like Brandon said, the graphics really were good, and it had some of the best versions of ports.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Brandon about the Xbox having the best version of ports. I mean, if you look at something like, say, Outrun 2006, the PS2 version, it's good and all, but it's definitely it definitely lacks the horsepower that the Xbox had at the time. If I had to rank them, yeah, I'd definitely say PS2 is just a little bit above, because personally for me, it's, if you really love JRPGs, then PS2 was definitely the place for you to go to. But Xbox just had just a variety of like excellent action games. Halo 2, like the Max Payne games run amazingly on that thing. The Xbox also had like some really excellent Sega exclusives like Jet Set Radio Future, Panzer Dragoon Orta, like Crazy Taxi 3, stuff like that. I think that's one of the, for me personally, as a really big Sega fan, that's what really draws me to the Xbox, is just those really interesting, just exclusive titles, and that little relationship that they had with Sega at the time, especially bringing a game like Gun Valkyrie, which was originally a Sega Dreamcast game, over to the Xbox. GameCube, actually, I'm just thinking about what Ren said. GameCube did actually have an online game, but it was mainly for, I think, Phantasy Star. And it kind of, yeah, there was like there was a port under it you could attach like a LAN through, and you could like play it off of there. But I think that's like the only thing that Nintendo had as far as like online capabilities. But yeah, that's GameCube's definitely at the bottom. And just thinking about like what you guys said about it only having Nintendo games, that is true to a degree. But a lot of the games on there are also like super niche and probably just stuff that people would ignore, like Lost Kingdoms, which is like a card-based RPG by From Software. I mean, who the heck would look at that and think, oh, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
That's ironic too, because FromSoft has exclusive games on the original Xbox called Otage, and those have quite a bit of recognition.
Right. Yeah. Otogi's a great one.
And,
oh no!
Hey, Bane! It's the late guy. It's
Here
Mr. Clapper.
Yes.
Dr.
All right.
Clapper.
Blame my fucking Uber, okay? I should have been home half hour ago.
You need to have that Xbox body wash and pour like sulfuric acid on your nuts because you're late.
Nah.
All right, so Mr. Bane for you has joined us. So, sir, introduce
Hello.
yourself, please.
I'm Mr. Bane for you. You can find me on Twitter at Bane with you because Twitter banned me because I called a pedophile a retard.
All right. Then.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I got banned.
Okay.
So you guys you guys banned for speaking the truth. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I know that
what
feeling
question we have, by the way?
because we're on question 2, but I know that feeling because I call someone stupid because he basically said, "Oh, I have a Nintendo Switch. My wife's in labor. I'm not going to be there. I'm going to play Breath of the Wild," and I got banned for calling him out. So it's just that funny thing that makes social media absolutely retarded. But we're on question 2. I guess you can go through question 1 real quick and then answer question 2.
Okay. I bought an Xbox at launch. I still have my launch model actually, and it works pretty well. It still has some issues reading, but fuck, the first Halo game, and you had a whole bunch of great stuff. It was probably the Dreamcast if a Dreamcast was successful.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it, actually.
God
All the Sega
damn.
titles and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a
he's
way-
not
no,
wrong.
He's not wrong. He's really not.
I just think it's funny.
Brutally honest.
It's
I
it's
just
the
think it's-
Dreamcast, but with like reasonable business decisions.
It's funny how he said that. That just gets me because I just remember that period of time where once the Dreamcast flopped, every single Sega game was on the fucking Xbox.
Oh yeah, except for Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. That went to the GameCube for some cocksucking reason.
Oh yeah.
That was weird that some Sonic games were exclusive to GameCube or PS2 or excluded from the Xbox.
It was weird, but all the other games, like you had a Togi, you had Jet Set Radio Future, you had so many great fucking Sega games.
Yeah.
Sega has not put that much onto one console in a long time.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's the golden days to be quite honest though, but you know, and we can do.
Also, like, bear in mind that like Sega fans seeing a Sega game on a Nintendo console at the time must have been pretty freaking wild.
Oh yeah.
I think it was crazy they had like Shenmue 2 and I was like, fucking, that game never came out to the States as far as the Dreamcast goes.
All right, well, it's because it came out right when Dreamcast was like they were pulling the life support plug on it, like a family member who was dying.
Fuck, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong. That's an accurate analogy.
He is right.
Yeah.
It's very true.
But the original Xbox it's one of the most, I think, important consoles right now because it did revolutionize a whole bunch of shit that we have and we take for granted today.
It was also like a console, at least for me, that was very well known to my parents to continuously like improperly name my GameCube the Xbox. That's how infamous it was.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it became a really
Everybody knew
decent
what it was.
catch-all term.
Yeah. It caught on to even the adults.
So, Bane, did you answer question number 2?
I sort of did with that last bit there. I'd say.
How would you rank
PlayStation
it,
2.
though?
Okay, I'll say this: PlayStation 2 has a lot of great games, but it also has a lot of shitty games.
A lot of shitty
Alright.
games.
Well,
hang on,
it is
I'm talking
the
like-
number one console, so that's a fair point in a way. Because
It got a
it's
ton of shovelware. I mean, yeah, I remind you, Snow White and her 7 clever boys.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
All right.
shitty shovelware aside, shitty shovelware aside.
There were great games. There were also bad games. The PlayStation 2 was a little clunky as well. Looking back at it now, the PlayStation 2 is an amazing console, but its exclusive lineup either had like some great games or some bad games.
Nah, I would say you're
hold on.
wilding on that
Well,
one. So
No, hang on. I fucking love SOCOM, but I'm saying for every SOCOM, you've got Gran Turismo 4, which I think is the least enjoyable in that fucking series.
Okay, so for GT, I only played one, so I'm kind of out of the loop with that one.
Gran Turismo 4 is like probably the most well-regarded one.
I like A-Spec. That's me. But the PlayStation 2 is an iconic console, and the fact that it also didn't cost to use as a DVD player, which is one of my biggest negative gripe on the Xbox, it's there. The GameCube is really great, but it's misguided in a lot of aspects, like the disc size, the entire lack of online.
What was the idea? Well, supposedly we already covered that, saying that there was one game they had online, which was Phantasy Star, but widespread online, like Xbox Live, I can see why it didn't have that and why it failed at that.
I mean, it didn't even do online like the PlayStation 2, which... PlayStation 2's online is very primitive, but at least it works. It's something. But the Xbox is right there in the middle, but the only negative I have on it, personally, I really love the console, but the thing that holds it back for me is its multimedia aspects are held back by the fact you have to spend $40 on a fucking DVD remote that I did end up buying, but you've had to pay $40 for a DVD remote.
Jeez.
It's a great console with a great lineup of exclusives that honestly hasn't been rivaled by anything so far when it comes to Xbox wise.
I think peripherals were like just super dumb back then, unless they were like good ones that suited your needs, like controller extenders for cords. I thought that was decently priced, and well, Madcast was kind of hit or miss with the controllers, but that's besides the point.
I will say this, and this technically brings up a question later that I see, but I do want to mention this. Xbox had this and no other console. 360 had it as well, but detachable wired controllers. So if like a fucking cat runs by, your fucking, kitten that just wants to fucking climb on everything and rip things out, it doesn't rip your console down when it like grabs onto the fucking controller cord and humps it.
What?
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're talking
My cat was a little weird.
talking about cats molesting controllers. That's fantastic.
But the breakaway controller cable is amazing, and I fucking love it. And why the fuck has no other wired console done it since?
So this is why Shane Dawson went after his cat.
No. God damn it.
Oh god. Alright, let's move on.
Alright, so let's move on to question number 3. How do you feel about the design of the console model itself? This includes any special edition Xbox you want to point out.
Well, compared to the GameCube and the PS2, which obviously PS2 had those console redesigns, which the Slim is the best one, obviously, because it could play those annoying double-coated discs that the PS2 used to have at the beginning. The ones with the blue back to it.
Mm-hmm.
But the Xbox is like super beefy. And like you could tell like that thing had some power to it. I think the overall design was fine. I mean, yeah, it takes up a lot of room, but compared to the other two, but for what you got quality out of it,
Oh yeah.
The controllers a step above the Dreamcast, clearly. And I think that's just as iconic as the PlayStation DualShock controller, honestly. I mean, that design,
The DualShock 1 and 2 are really good,
yeah.
but the future of that design was a little odd.
The only thing I don't like about the design of the original Xbox is the fact that it is bulky as fuck. So
What? You don't like having a console that if you threw from a bridge, it could legally be classified as a deadly weapon?
I mean, if I hated someone, then yeah, I would use it to that effect. But still, this
Yeah,
is
that
like,
might-
it's something that's like, okay, they should have had a slim edition because it is hard to lug this thing around seriously.
They couldn't do that.
They couldn't? Oh, well.
With the way everything was designed, it had to be
mean-
as big as it was.
Yeah, it's just something that I wish that was like on the cars or whatever. Like, even if it was like technically impossible, it's still like a bitch to carry around. So I do like how it looks. It looks, sleek. It looks great with the X on top, really representing there. X gonna give it to you. But it's something that I wish that was actually slimmed down. That's the only problem with it. As for, did we talk about like controllers on this thing? Oh, that's question number 7, so I'll get to that
Yeah,
later.
Oh,
we're,
okay.
we're a little bit ahead, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get to
Whoops.
that later. So the console, it looks fine, but I wish it was like less bulky.
What I'll
Yeah.
say is, it's an iconic look. It's the kind of look that when you see it, it correlates with, oh,
You
this
know
is
what
the
it is.
Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's,
stands out quite well from everything else. I mean, it's pretty obvious though. It's an Xbox, and then you got the GameCube. It's literal a GameCube.
it's
So,
GameCube.
so yeah,
purple
it stands
logo.
out.
That is also a console you can use as a deadly weapon. Have you ever been hit by the sharp ends of those? Fucking hurts.
That remi-
Swinging around.
That
I mean, it
reminds
had a
me of
handle
that.
to it.
That reminds me of that glitch that's in like Hitman where you can throw the fucking briefcase and it tracks
Oh.
the person.
Yeah.
That's absolutely great.
Do it, but with an Xbox.
Someone needs to mod that. Get on it right now.
Yeah.
But it is a smart design, and it shows off the branding of the console very well. It's the same with, I think the launch model 360 is also very iconic. When you look at it, you instantly think that's an Xbox 360.
Mhm.
You know, its design shows off what the brand is supposed to be. It's supposed to be big. It's supposed to be bombastic. It worked. I cannot imagine what a slim version of that would look like, though. I can't imagine if they do like an SNES Classic or a PlayStation Classic style thing for the original Xbox. I cannot imagine how you'd shrink that down.
Fucking hell, now that I think about it. Imagine that thing being as small as your hand. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I think I'd flip
You cannot
the fuck
picture
out.
it.
Yeah,
Actually,
you
it might
just-
be the size of a power bank.
that could work. I mean, you never know. But are we done with question number 3?
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So let's move on to 4. So what is your favorite and least favorite exclusive on the original Xbox?
I got a hot take for this one. I
I want to go first actually before Bane
Okay,
murders
you got
everybody.
You got it.
For me, it will most likely be Dead or Alive 3 because that was like, for starters, my first DOA game and probably still my favorite to this day. And the one that's probably spent the most time with. No, but granted though, it was on the 360, not so much on the actual Xbox itself. But I'm sure the game still count though, right?
Yeah, it's an exclusive.
Okay,
All I
so
can give
yeah,
you... I'm sorry, go ahead.
that's that one, and there's another game for the life of me I can't remember, but I played the fuck out of it.
Can you describe the game?
Oh no, Gun Valkyrie, that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Bane. Well, hold on. Actually, Brandon, any least favorite Xbox game?
Least favorite Xbox game. From what I played, no, I don't have a least favorite though. But shit. No, I can't think of a least favorite.
Oh, but I can.
I'm trying to think before Bane goes real quick. I would say I really did enjoy. It might sound like a bland, stereotypical answer, but I really did enjoy Halo 1. I thought it was cool, and also I did enjoy a bit of KOTOR, but I'm probably gonna get sniped for saying this. I feel like the gameplay for the first KOTOR has not aged well. Because
Oh, it hasn't. I will agree with you on that. I played it recently.
yeah, because it feels like you have to do a million different commands to do one thing. And I remember like my guy threw a grenade and he was simply like trying to blow up a couple of Dark Jedi, and it whiffed, and my character blew up because it hit a box, and I was about ready to turn the game off. I was like, I'm about to be ready to be done. So it's just like, it feels like a lot of commands to do, and the prompts help, but I feel it's like not enough. But the story is fantastic. I really do love the plot of the game so far, and how you can make good or bad choices.
All right, we ready for mine?
No, not yet.
Not really.
Bane?
I actually
Wait,
didn't
for
say
Bane?
least favorite, but I don't really have a least favorite. So I guess Bane could go.
No, because I know Bane's got a whole essay. Mine takes like 2 seconds.
Oh, go ahead.
Least favorite? I have to say Project Gotham, because as a kid,
Really?
racing games wasn't really my forte, but I still enjoyed it as I got a bit older. And there's also my second favorite was probably this one game. I forgot. It's like one of those games that you forget the title of, but you still remember some gameplay of it. Because does anybody remember this game where you play as this kid who goes to a haunted mansion to save his girlfriend, fight zombies, and
Grab by the ghoulies.
Grab by the
Ghoulies.
yeah.
Thank you. I've been trying to look for that name for 10 years.
Yeah.
This game.
If anybody
10
wants to play it,
years.
it's also on the Rare Replay Collection. It's pretty fucking good.
What's it called again?
Grab by the ghoulies.
Grab
Can
by
you
the
type it in the chat, please? Because
Yeah.
that sounds like a tongue twister. And probably my most favorite exclusive was definitely Voodoo Vince. Brought me a whole new introduction to something pretty.
That's a
unique
title you don't hear about.
especially especially when I was 5. It was something that I was brand newly introduced to, and learned a little bit more about voodoos and stuff.
Cool. Okay, hang on.
Nice.
Favorite exclusive? Fable.
I can
Always.
understand that.
Jeez.
Least favorite? Dino Crisis 3.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Dude, you reminded me. Oh, you
Yeah.
reminded me. I
That
hate you.
game is pure dumpster fire.
I
Like-
still have not played that one yet.
Everything
Good.
that was like, you know, I was recently playing through 1 and 2, and I've seen how much the game's progressed. But seeing as 3 takes place in space, and the camera angles are the worst possible thing, it's like, wow.
What is with
Why?
like the
Hang
weird?
on. The idea of fighting dinosaurs in space sounds fucking awesome.
But it's not executed properly. That's the problem.
I mean, I think the only thing that looks remotely cool in that game is that the dinosaurs are like these weird infected clones and shit, so they don't look like traditional dinosaurs from the outset. Like they have tentacles and shit on them. I
Right.
thought that was cool, but everything else about that game looks lame. I don't even know how you control the game properly because the camera's like all over the place. It's up your ass. It's around the corner. It's like it's like getting your dick nuked or something. It's like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the worst.
Use that phrase from now on.
That's probably the worst Xbox exclusive on there. Dino Crisis 3.
All right, you ready for my bold take?
All right, do it.
Okay, so I have to actually add 3 to my favorites because I like these games all equally because fuck you. Panzer Dragoon Orta, one of my favorite games of all time. It's amazing, backwards compatible. It's $10. Fuck, buy it. Togi Myth of Demons.
Okay.
Other
How about
second.
2?
Fucking love it, Togi. Togi 2 is really good, but I don't really rate it as high as the first game. That's mostly because I'm just up my own ass. The third game is going to probably be Jet Set Radio Future.
Okay.
All Sega. I like this guy.
All fucking Sega. My least favorite, and I'm going to get. I know somebody's going to be fucking hearing this, and I'm going to get pissed. I did not like Aquaman.
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 Yes, Aquaman Battle for Atlantis. It was exclusive to Xbox for about a month and a half, and I bought it,
Tomatoes?
and I hated it. No, I'm serious. I fucking bought it. It's exclusive. I hated it.
Yeah, we know Aquaman sucked. It's a bad game.
I was excited.
Is anybody else looking it up right now?
I've
Yeah,
never.
I know which game he's talking about too.
I remember the
It was
one
on
on
the GameCube as
the
well.
GameCube, yeah.
Oh, it came out on GameCube like a month and a half or so later, but I still consider it an Xbox exclusive because it sold really poorly on the GameCube and the Xbox.
Hey, look, all I gotta say is Aquaman right now is a fantastic badass character. He used to be a dork, now he's like fucking awesome, so that's a weird paradigm.
I know.
Okay, I'm watching the gameplay right now of Aquaman Battle for Atlantis.
Yeah, here, I'll post a screenshot of a game, and it doesn't get any better in motion. I'm just gonna say that.
No,
Not get any
it does
better in
not.
motion.
This is probably a time where I can believe, where I can trust
Yeah.
Bane's word.
I paid full price for it.
Ain't my problem.
that, how long ago was this? Like 15 years ago?
Oh god, this was 2003, so too much time. It's too much
Yes,
time for me
about-
to remember this fucking turd.
About 15 years. Let's go with that.
Yeah, I've never been more disappointed in a game than that.
Let's.
Question number. Okay, is anybody else going?
Yeah, I think we're finished with this, right?
All right.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
question number 5. So, what's your favorite and least favorite multiplayer on the original Xbox? I guess I could do mine like really quickly. Not gonna take long.
Go ahead.
Favorite multiplat, I would say. No, I'm not gonna say that because I really should have named this on the last question because I did enjoy Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. That game is awesome.
Yeah?
that fucking
it is
game is
awesome.
so cool. You can go around, mess with prisoners and shit, beat them up, get tased by robots if you cause fights. It's
so
fucking
there really
fantastic.
was a Riddick game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, and it was really good. A lot of people gave it shit because, you know, the whole movie tie-in thing, which we'll talk about in the EU podcast, but I think it was really good. One of the rare good movie tie-in games. But if I had to say favorite multiplat, I would say I enjoyed San Andreas on Xbox. I thought it looked a little bit more better, a little bit more crisp.
A little bit, man.
You can do custom soundtracks, which is awesome, and I did not like that PS2 did not do this. I want to play my own
That was
music.
weird, honestly.
Yeah, I want to play my own music while I'm just blowing people away. I think that would be great. So, I enjoy San Andreas a lot. Let's see, least favorite multiplayer. I gotta say, since I played it on the original Xbox and I thought that it was a bit disappointing control-wise, I do like this game, but I gotta say Freedom Fighters, I don't think it aged well from IO Interactive. It's hard. Like, who has a third-person shooter where you have to, like, press in L3 to aim and press R2 to shoot? Who does this? That is absolutely terrible. The game's fun, but those controls are a nightmare.
I could go next.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, I have a few favorite multiplayer ones. One would be Fatal Frame, Charisma Butterfly.
Oh, yes.
Secondly, it would be shit. What's that fucking game called? I just had it. God damn it! I apologize for that.
Silent Hill 2.
The
What do you say?
Castlevania games,
Oh, yes. Curse of Darkness, right?
Curse of Darkness, and what the other one did not come over to Xbox. correct?
Innocent. Lament of Innocence
of
didn't come to the
Innocence.
Xbox, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
a good
Curse of
Castlevania
Darkness.
one. Some people don't give that one enough credit.
Yeah, 38 games were freaking amazing on PS era.
Yeah.
That and
they were.
Metroidvania games, you were sold as a Castlevania fan.
And heck, they even made they even made the lore into the Castlevania series on Netflix.
Oh, one more great recommendation since the gameplay is up now on stream. Ninja Gaiden Black. Fucking amazing, fantastic.
Fuck yes.
Just it is literally like the Xbox's greatest hack and slash game on the system, in my opinion.
By far.
Black is the definitive version of Ninja Gaiden.
I just like how the aesthetics, everything is just kept intact. The menu looks fucking awesome. I played Sigma for a bit, but I can understand it had limitations. This is like
Sigma.
just perfect.
Sigma is so fucking weird. You have a console that has superior power, but you make an inferior version.
I'm 50-50 on that though, but that's a whole nother discussion I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it was just to like maintain the frame rate.
Even then, it dipped the frame
But
rate.
yeah,
Still.
I know they could have optimized it better.
It did the frame rate because it had more assets in it though. So it's either way though, it dips.
Mm.
But besides the point though, my least favorite though is one Capcom versus SNK EO or whoever that port was called. That was probably the worst version of Capcom versus SNK 2. Because they changed a lot of stuff that honestly kind of made the game inferior by comparison to the Dreamcast and PS2 ports. That and also Doom 3 because Doom 3 is trash. Don't at me.
I enjoyed the atmosphere of Doom 3, but the gameplay is... I mean, it sounds like a Doom game if it was a, like, side game.
A spin-off.
Yeah, spin-off or something. It didn't really feel right as, like, a mainline entry, in my opinion, because Doom is always, like, fast and frantic.
I have an honorable mention, Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
As favorite or least favorite multiplayer?
Favorite.
Yeah.
Well, I think I played that one. I think I played that one as a kid.
I played it on a PS2 and holy shit, that was fun.
I played it on the GameCube emulator, and the fact that Hulk can like have this ability where he can pick up 2 buses and make them as fists. I thought that shit was awesome.
I also like the fact that you can break some buildings too.
Yeah, you can, and there's also like these robot enemies that show up later, like Hulk Busters. You can literally like do you could do 8 body slams to them. That shit is awesome. If anyone hasn't played that game, I would highly recommend it. It is super fun.
What else could you have done in that game?
I just haven't
pick up civilians. You could either flick them or pat them on the head.
You can also use like buses as surfboards.
That's something else.
I got mine. If nobody has.
All right. Wait, hold on. Is this Bane?
I'll go after him.
Yep, it's Bane.
Oh god. Okay.
These are 2 accurate choices. Hold up here.
No, here's the thing. Because Bane has like a whole essays to do when he does his.
I don't have an essay on this one. This is 2 very simple. All right. Best multiplat. The best way to play this.
Someone count.
The best way to play this fucking game, right? The best way to play this game. Burnout 3 Takedown. It's the only one between the 2 consoles you can get it on that uses triggers for driving instead of X. So it's the superior version. Oh, and the worst game I've ever played on the Xbox is multi-platform, Catwoman.
Oh.
That had a game?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
And it makes the movie. It makes the movie look good in comparison.
I don't know how the fuck that's possible.
That's actually saying a lot, though. That is actually saying a lot.
I don't even know how that's possible. Holy shit.
The game is possibly the only way I can say you get enjoyment out of it is if you have like a lobotomy during it.
A lobotomy and a blowjob with spiked teeth?
Pretty much.
Yikes! This is a big
Okay then.
Okay. So who said they were going after Bane?
Me.
All right.
Let's see if I can top that one.
So I'm kind of torn between like 2 different multiplat versions. Outrun 2006. I do not own the Xbox version because it's too expensive, but I know it's way better than the PS2 version, so I'm getting that out of the way. But I think my regular choice may have to be Red Dead Revolver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Least favorite? I don't know. Probably like I can't really think clearly on this, but probably like Peter Jackson's King Kong.
It was better on the 360.
Yeah, probably.
The 360
It
version
has
of that
not
game
aged
great.
well on the Xbox at all. The original.
Yeah.
Ugh. I had a lot of fond memories with that game, but playing it recently, it's not so good.
Remember when Peter Jackson's King Kong was actually liked by people?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
It isn't?
It's not really talked about that much.
Yeah, I don't really like that movie.
Yeah.
Well,
It's fine, but it's not a good movie.
Well, just wait until Godzilla versus King Kong is fucked up, because the guy who directed the Death Note Netflix movie, he's working on it.
But he also, well, hang on. He directed You're Next, and that's a fucking golden movie.
I don't know. I have a feeling that it's just gonna be some weird. It's gonna be like Kong chasing Godzilla, and it's gonna be an extended police chase like Death Note. So I don't know.
Ferris Bueller too.
I will say this: if you get the chance, give Your Next a shot, because it's that and The Guest. Give those two movies a shot. Death Note is not a good movie.
Yeah, at least we can agree on that. So we're moving on to
anybody else?
The next one, if there's anyone else, of course.
Oh wait, yeah, because I was trying to go before Bane, but he said he had like two sentences. But okay, so anybody
short.
else? It was really short. I'll give you that because it ended 3 minutes ago. Anybody else need any takes?
Nope, I think I'm done.
Nope. Okay, so most favorite, probably stuck between Ultimate Spider-Man and Marvel Nemesis. Yeah. Marvel Nemesis, they were like, and Ultimate Spider, they were a pretty introduction for me to know about a bit of a darker tone to basically Marvel, especially when it came to Marvel Nemesis. And my least favorite, just because it's my least favorite doesn't mean I dislike it, but I have to say King of Fighters 3, I think, mainly because it was a new fighting game I was introduced, and I didn't get fond of it yet until a little later. And my second least or the one that came before that, was more Elder Scrolls 3, because back then I really didn't know how to play it. I was only 5, and yeah, that's about it. Of course, with some time and some commitment, I grew to play them.
I was only 5. Fuck this game.
By the way, though, just a little side note though for you Eddie fans, how you guys played the game on consoles, Misadventures?
No, I wanted to when I was a kid, but never got the chance.
I forgot Cartoon Network had. You just brought me back. That Cartoon Network had games on those consoles with Billy and Mandy, Kids Next Door, Ed, and Eddie Now. What else was there? Wasn't there a My Gym Partner's a Monkey game?
No, but
damn,
that sounds pretty whack.
Oh yeah, there's not Cartoon Network related, but SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, the Battle for Bikini Bottom. Whew.
And now it's getting remastered, or is it a remake?
It's getting a huge graphical overhaul. So yeah, basically a remaster.
I'm sorry, what is?
Battle for Bikini Bottom is getting a remake.
They're adding content as well. Yeah,
that was a remake.
So I need just a little bit of a divergence here. Why is everyone like busting their nuts to this game? Because I never played Battle
It's
for.
a really good.
It's arguably the best SpongeBob game in existence.
Really?
Is that the only one?
No,
there are some good ones.
There was a couple other ones, but
this is coming from a non-SpongeBob fan, like in current time. I can tell you straight up that Battle for Bikini Bottom is actually a really damn good game.
It had an original story, and it's just a damn good platformer.
And
a very clever one too.
Meg, that's one based on the movie.
It's one of the few games that actually replicated the art style from a 2D show and did a damn good job transitioning it over to 3D.
Interesting, because
it had the original jokes.
I know there's gonna be like online modes for this new one, so everyone's like super hyped. But
I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah, that's another subject.
If it's good, I'll play it. I'll beat you niggas up with like Mr. Krabs and everybody else.
I think you'll enjoy it for what it is.
Okay, I'll definitely try to check that out on my chip Xbox. But I wanted to also add like a really good side question. Is there any like Xbox games that you guys wanted to play but didn't?
Oh, there's plenty. There's plenty. I have.
Yeah, there's quite a few though, but I'm just going to narrow it down to like Just Hit Radio Future and DOA Ultimate, the compilation of 1 and 2 that were remakes of DOA 1 and 2.
It was one dumb zombie game that I wanted to play called Stubbs the Zombie, where you could
That
throw limbs
Oh, yeah.
at people and stuff like that.
yeah.
No, I was talking to one of my friends about that game too. This morning actually.
Really, no.
Stubbs is kind of rare.
It's really obscure too. I don't think a lot of people
Yeah.
know about it.
I remember it being on the Xbox 360 marketplace and going, "The hell is this?" Stubbs the Zombie? What? This
Just the name
exists?
alone.
I'm like, what is this? But no, apparently it's like really good. Yeah, that's one I've never played either.
I only heard like XPlay reviewed it, and they
It
said
was a lot of fun.
it was
Yeah.
fun.
It also is one of a few games that ran on the Halo engine that wasn't made by Halo,
Wow, that's
Interesting.
made
interesting.
by Bungie. Like,
Yeah, unfortunately, I have no games that I can think of that I did that I wanted to play as a kid, but still haven't played now, because all the games that I looked at when I was a kid, like Metal Gear Solid 2, Max Payne, all that I saw on the Xbox, I own them now, and it feels good, really good. So, yeah.
I think the only other choice would be Max Payne on the Xbox, because I never played that port, but I heard it was really good.
Yeah, it's
It
a
was
really good
another.
one.
It was another one of those ones where it's like, this is probably the best way to play it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
One game I really wish to play was X-Men Legends. I think that was the title.
Oh yeah.
It was like,
Mm.
it was, and probably the very first Halo game. I wanted to experience how everybody else, or
Like how
Oh, it was
you got it when you
first.
first. Yeah.
yes, like
If
I'll say this.
it's
Oh, go on.
Oh, I was about to say it's really fun playing the campaign with friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd honestly say if you get the Master Chief Collection version and you just stick with the original graphics, it's probably the best way to play the original version, I think.
Unfortunately, I don't have an Xbox or a PC yet, so
I mean,
I can't really.
Google
It's gonna take a while.
Google Stadia.
I don't think it's gonna be coming to Google Stadia.
Yeah. Just you wait.
Perhaps VX Cloud. I'd assume there, but
X Bluetooth.
X Wi-Fi. Get it right.
Okay,
you guys
so
wanna...
next question, anybody?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay. We're on number 6 now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The original Xbox was the first system to severely push Xbox Live with built-in Ethernet,
Internet.
internet, and downloadable
Ethernet.
DLC. How did you feel
yeah.
about the start of this premise and where it ended up today?
All right. So here's my take on this. I didn't really experience that kind of thing since I didn't own an Xbox at the time, but I'm sure for a lot of people it was pretty weird knowing that, like, well, I don't want to assume the way that people probably thought about this at first, because
Yeah.
having extra content with a game that you probably spent hours and hours and hours on, pretty cool stuff back then. I can only imagine. But like when I look at it now, when I pick up a new like old original Xbox game that I see and it says, "Oh, you can download some original content," and then knowing that I can't download it, that sucks. Like-
I can touch on how it was when I had Xbox Live when it first came out, so I even had to have the parents' credit card. I mean, what? It was pretty interesting. I played a little bit on PC growing up, so I knew how the PC marketplace worked. But having like dedicated servers for some games and like a proper infrastructure is the first time it's really been done, and Xbox Live worked, which is something that you compare to PlayStation 2 at the time, which is the only other console that did online.
Yeah.
And the PlayStation 2 was very bare bones. Like, you connect to players, you have no name across one game, no friends list. It really does feel kind of like it feels barely there,
Right. It's an interesting perspective, like for that time period, because we look at DLC now for the most part, and then people complain that the game isn't complete.
Yeah. Well, I can
So-
understand for some games being like,
Oh,
this game's
no,
not
yeah.
even halfway finished.
I guess, yeah.
But the way they did it was relatively smart. You didn't
Yeah.
have a lot to download because I think the hard drive was only 20 gigs anyways.
Right. Yeah,
But
definitely.
It was
Definitely
something.
a smarter way of doing it back then.
Oh yeah, and sometimes they gave away stuff for free. Like I remember after a little while, the Halo 2 map packs went free.
That's right. Well,
Yeah.
I take it you could download them instead of buying that separate disc, right?
Yep. Although
Ah.
if you didn't have online, the separate disc was very, very valuable.
Mm. Yeah, I see
Because-
it out in the wild every now and then.
It was the only way to do it from some LAN parties because, like, oh, I don't have the DLC. So you give them a disc, you let them install it, then, you give a disc to somebody else who doesn't have it installed. And it kind of feels weird, especially now where all of this stuff is so commonplace.
Right.
But, I mean, fuck, Microsoft saw the future of the industry, 18 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause
Way ahead
Honestly, it was inevitable that this would happen, but Microsoft did it in a way that actually made sense and worked.
of. Right.
And it cost money, but they also use that to build up their servers.
Right. Exactly.
But that's my take on it.
Fellas.
Mm-hmm.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
what's
I was looking at porn.
Oh.
So we're on question
alright,
number
you're-
6.
duh.
Yes.
It's a
You're
time
ripping and
place
ripping
for
it.
everything.
Ripping and revving it.
No, gripping and ripping.
Gripping and ripping. All right, that's gonna be a new
Yep.
one. So, so Xbox Live. What did I think of it and downloadable DLC? I do think this was the start of people utilizing DLC, which I mean ultimately isn't a bad premise for expansions, because if you want really a lot more post-game content, then that would be the best way to distribute it, instead of saying, hey, here's an expansion pack, we're gonna charge you $40. At the same time, I do think that DLC can get a little retarded sometimes. Like, I don't want to pay for cosmetics and skins and all that shit, so I do think, as usual, some people abused it. But yeah, it's like, it was the start of something new happening, and for better or worse, is here to stay. But the internet being popular, and you have Xbox Live and playing online and shit, I do think that was a good thing. Now you can play with people wherever the fuck you want, as long as you're connected and not on bullshit Wi-Fi, because that sucks for fighting games. People don't do it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Renegade.
you don't like playing your PlayStation Vita version of MK9 with about 3,000 ping? I totally love that.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
so you guys don't like the Stadia? Okay, that's how it is.
No. But I'm on wired. Fuck Wi-Fi. It still is a great premise that people can play online with each other, and I think that's like it brings social interaction when you're raging and calling a guy a faggot online. There you go.
Ah, yes, the good old days of the Xbox 360 era, where you're raging at people, calling a bunch of names, and when you win, you just rub it in the face and they get salty.
Or teabag
Yes.
them in Halo like you usually do.
Oh,
I miss what competition was actually fun, but
Yeah, same here. So anyone else want to go on this question?
nah, I had no internet access as a kid outside of like going to my cousin's facility and playing some Flash games. That's about it.
Single player for life. Yee.
Yep.
Single player games are dead, Kappa.
Yeah, God of War says hi. Monster Hunter says hi.
Spider-Man says hi. Resident Evil Remake says hi.
Devil May Cry
Devil May
5.
Cry says hi.
Yep.
Death Stranding says hi.
Oh wait,
Yeah, that's
well,
not out yet.
it will say hi.
Oh
will.
yeah, it's a lot of people are on that train, so I think Death Stranding's probably gonna sell well.
Oh yeah.
Cyberpunk says hi. Okay, let's
I
stop
mean-
before he gets.
here's what I'll say. Online is there's always going to be a room for it, and anybody saying that there isn't is dumb, but
Yeah,
also
Bane.
anybody saying that single player is dead is also fucking retarded. So
Yeah, Bane.
I ain't never said that. Fuck you. Although, I mean, my opinions on God of War 2018 have been duly noted, as I'm saying people.
Everyone roast him immediately for
Shame
slandering,
him.
slandering the great Kratos King. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't slander the good Kratos games.
I don't know about
Yes,
that
you
one,
do.
Bane. I don't know.
You do. I do. You do. You do. But
If anybody
this
says
is number
Ascension is
7.
good, then yeah, I'll slander them.
All right, kick this man.
All right, so I guess we're gonna move on to the interesting question, which is number 7, because I have some feelings about this one. What are your thoughts on the controllers, the Duke and the Xbox Controller S?
Oh, can I go first?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Now, no jokes, no BS though. The Duke controller is not a bad controller per se. If you have very, very large hands, like it will fit your hands though. But for like the average Joe, like across the world, regardless where you're at though, it's not comfortable. It's not practical. So the S is like probably the definitive controller to have.
I agree with this. I have medium-sized hands. I don't have bear claw hands that can strangle someone immediately. I don't have super small Asian hands either, so I do think that the S controller is the best compromise. And I'm glad they actually made that model for this, because I didn't even know like it existed until Dom like told me. And it's like, oh, it comes with the console. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought all Xbox controllers came with the Duke first and nothing else.
Originally,
Yeah,
at launch they
originally,
did, but then
people
I
were
think about a year
importing-
after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people were importing the S controller from Japan. So Microsoft saw this and like, you know what, let's release it everywhere because they saw the demand for it.
Mm.
I mean, personally, I like the Duke a lot. I have big enough hands for the Duke, so I still fuck around with it every once in a while. But I think
I
the
bet
Slim
you
is
do, man.
iconic. Fuck you. I think the Slim is iconic. It's the design for Slim is so good.
It is. It
It-
really is.
It's almost like how like the 360 pad is almost perfection, you know.
How do you guys feel
But-
about them actually remaking the Duke?
I like it. I picked it up.
How much is it?
You can get it for like 40 on Amazon right now.
Okay, that's not too bad, because most
Plus they
controllers are
added-
like $60.
They added a couple extra buttons where bumpers would be for black and white. So if you don't want to use black and white and you just want to use like the new bumpers, then it's there. But if you actually want to use like, you know, the black and white, you can still do it like that.
I kind of want to
Alright.
make a terrible joke about how certain games they ask you to press the black or white button, and my mind goes elsewhere.
I despise the black and white buttons,
Really?
or at least for the original Xbox controller. Oh, I'm looking at the Duke controller now. I've never owned one, but the placement of the black and white controllers on the Duke looks better than on the
It
original
was better, yeah.
controller, which is like below. You have to bring your thumb down, like really awkwardly. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the black and white controller buttons.
Racist. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's a.
Dang it.
You knew
Woof.
someone was gonna say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried as best as I could to keep the context as clean as possible from that one, but yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I agree
placement
with
is
you, Ren. I'm
super
not a big
weird.
fan of those buttons.
It's super weird on the S, because it's like you gotta. It's like what you said. You gotta go down and press it from the face
It's just
buttons.
a very awkward placement near the right thumbstick.
I agree.
The bumper design is so much better.
Oh yeah. Oh, by far.
Also, can someone tell me, like, I'm looking at my Xbox S controller right now. What are these ports for on the top? Are they,
Memory
like-
cards.
Memory
Oh,
cards.
okay.
Memory cards and the first edition of the microphone for the controller.
Because I was gonna say, like, that really reminds me of how Dreamcast did the VMUs, where you put them at the top and you could see shit with
Oh,
the
yeah,
memory cards. I like that.
The memory cards on the original Xbox are not like VMUs, sadly.
What are your guys' thoughts on the directional pad?
For Xbox,
It's a
This
little.
is
Slightly better than the 360s.
Yeah.
the Duke's
thinking the same
directional
thing.
pad is weird.
Yeah.
If you fucked around with a Duke, you know exactly what I mean.
I think it's weird for. And don't get me wrong, I do like some of the fighting games that the Xbox provided, like Samurai Showdown 5 and the likes of Guilty Gear X2? Double X?
I think
it was Double X?
Double X.
Double X, yeah. Like, I like that stuff, but like, man, that directional pad, it's odd for me, you know, compared
it's
to
not great.
the PS2, yeah, as far as with fighting games. Yeah, I can understand why you had issues with Marvel vs. SNK 2.
Marvel?
I'm sorry,
versus
I
SNK.
wish. Capcom versus SNK. I wish. That'd be great, actually.
Marvel versus SNK Infinite.
Marvel versus SNK 2 would be great. That's just a dream game. Sorry, folks.
That is great. But yeah, I agree. The D-pad is a lot more loose on the 360 compared to the S controller. So if I wanted to play fighting games, I would rather prefer this one over the 360.
Yeah, I agree.
And if I want to play absolutely great games, I would prefer the Xbox One controller with their D-pad because it rocks.
The shape of the 360 controller is better in my opinion. Just the D-pad. The D-pad.
The
It's so much
D-pad
better.
is-
Well,
yeah.
hang on. They have an upgraded D-pad model for 360.
Yeah, they do. That is a lot better though, but still not. I wasn't like right home about it.
I used it for Persona 4 Arena, and it was really fucking good.
I still
I
have
mean,
yet to play
I
both Persona.
don't really
3 and
know
Persona.
what model 360 controller I have, but it's
You can tell if it
definitely-
doesn't have this. If it has that, then it's the one for evolving D-pad.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, that's not what I have. Okay, yeah, then that's good. 'Cause
It's a very nice upgrade
yeah, definitely, especially for playing
for pretty much
playing
any
games on
game.
PC. Yeah, yeah.
Like, I the only time I ever turned the D-pad back was when I decided to play COD, and I realized that it's kind of easier to mash the like the kill streak button with the like rotated, like the old school one. You know what I mean?
Hacker.
Right. Hacker man.
I'm going in.
I am in.
Hey, are we done with number 7?
Sounds like it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think we can move on to number 8. Who wants to read it? Fine.
Alright.
I'll read
This
it
is
then.
the
You.
first time.
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. This is the first time that Microsoft tried to appeal to the Japanese crowd in the East, but commercially failed. Do you think Microsoft's attempt to appeal to the East with the games released on the original Xbox correlated to a failure or a success?
Okay.
Wait. Real quick, you mean like the games that the East made, or games that were released for the East?
Games that the East made.
In that case, it's both a success and a failure. A success because we got a lot of good games for them. Like, for example, Team Ninja, Ninja Gaiden, DOA, and then of course other like Eastern games like Otage, just to name a few. So that is a success on how we got so many damn good games though, but it's a failure because Japan doesn't give a fuck, the East doesn't give a fuck about the Xbox.
Yeah.
Pretty
They
much.
I think it was like it's super sad too because I think it's a combination of just they don't give a fuck because they know they have like Nintendo and Sony, and those are the two consoles they gravitate to because Japanese only, Japanese made. And the marketing for the original Xbox, I'm like, okay, what is this where Bill Gates is trying to advertise shooters and hamburgers to the Japanese?
Yeah, it was hilarious that one of the main guys, I think it was Sherman, that started the project of Xbox. He had like either it was him or somebody else had like trying to like sell the Duke controller to the Japanese audience. He even had it set on somebody's leg, and that thing just fell right off.
The biggest problem with Japan is like Yeah, there was an interview by one of the guys who was talking about how hard it was to try to get to sell in Japan, and they said you can't have the letter X because X means death in Japanese. It can't be black because black means death in Japanese. And then he said, "Well, hang on, the PlayStation is black. Why aren't you going after that?"
Hey,
because it's Japanese.
Come on, bro.
There's a white model of the PS2 that I'm sure a lot of Japanese people picked up.
At the launch. So he said, why does PlayStation get around it? Oh, because they're a Japanese company. You've got different rules.
Okay, so in that regard, if that's the case, I assume the Japanese was logically colorblind when that happened. They were like, you know what? I don't care if it's black. I don't care if my console will kill me. I'm gonna buy this immediately.
This console will murder me?
Come on, bro.
All right.
That sounds badass. Let's do it.
Remember the movie Stay Alive? I do.
No.
Oh, that's a movie you guys should have a whole
It's a
an
black
entire
console?
stream about.
I think it's
No,
black.
it's-
Console? Guess I'll die.
Guess I'll die.
But yeah, I think that with the way they advertise things, it's funny because like they had good Japanese games on there that I'm sure people remember. I mean, I think Ninja Gaiden sold well over there, if I'm not too mistaken, or at
it
least
might
it
be one
did
of those.
decently.
Actually,
I think-
it sold more in the States.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
it
had a
literally
more-
sold more in the States.
Inagaki had a more Western appeal with his games opposed to everybody else. So
Yeah.
his games did better in the West than they did in the East.
It was like
I mean, why do you think Ninja Gaiden's so popular?
fuck this Gaijin American console that doesn't appeal to me.
Ooh. Filthy gaijins.
Oh god, that's funny.
Oh, yeah. That's Inagaki for you. He
And-
just,
And then I
Kinda.
remember, like, there were reports of Japanese people lining up for Xboxes, and the line was like 60 people only. That's it.
ooh,
But I
that's
think
like that's like 1/35th of the Dragon Quest fan base
damn.
in Japan, because those guys line up for that crap like hotcakes.
Man, I think that's an
Yeah.
overstatement right there.
Yeah.
In terms of the games that got that support from Japanese developers and turned out great, in that regard, I would say it is a positive because at least they made great games and they weren't trash. I could see if it was the other way around, but at least they gave that support to the developers at the time, and they did make good games because of it that people will remember. In terms of sales, not so much.
Right. But hey, at least at some point we ended up getting Metal Wolf Chaos. Thank God.
I've never played that. I've heard about it, and aren't they doing like a remaster or something?
It is.
They're supposed to
Devolver is
finally be coming
remastering
with
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devolver.
One of
did
these
this-
years, registered trademark.
I mean the game had English like voice acting in it.
It just never
Just
came out
very
here.
Expensive, yeah.
Are you
It's
a
like $300.
are you a bad enough dude to save the president?
Oh,
I mean, fuck, Resident Evil 4 showed we're brave enough to fuck the president's daughter after we save her.
Now hold on. I thought he said.
Yeah, come on
I
now.
thought he said no to that thought.
He said no thanks,
did.
bro.
There's no way in hell, though, that Leon at least didn't
I'm
get,
gonna
like,
go play bingo.
I mean, after all that death and chaos, logically, I mean, maybe she would want you to insert a baby inside of her that's not Los Plagas, but
Well, okay, Ashley traded for one egg for another.
oh my God, Brandon, Jesus, you had to
Oh.
double down on that one.
God, yes.
Mother of God.
I don't want to play that game ever again. Damn it.
I'm glad I could help.
We've effectively made one person here just quit playing.
I love that game. Damn it.
Ren, this is the highlight. This is the highlight.
No. Yeah.
I think we
No.
broke his mind, people.
You did.
Let
I'm
me
okay with
remind
that.
you that Ashley is played by the girl who played Cindy from Jimmy Neutron. Let that sink in.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
both of them are
prison.
blonde.
Haha.
Both of
Yeah.
them are
Jokes on you,
blonde and
that-
annoying.
Let that sink in.
Both of
Jokes
them were
on you, that just
blonde
makes my
and-
penis harder.
What,
Okay.
man?
You're going
Huh?
to prison.
Yeah, now I'm definitely not playing that game.
Oh, all right. We're gonna cancel this man. Then we're
Oh,
gonna move
man.
on to the next question.
Highlight that shit.
Yeah, that's a highlight for sure. So, number 9,
Ooh,
the
Kaz's disdain.
yes. Number 9, the OG Xbox could be easily modded. Even Bill Gates himself said, "That's amazing. How can we make money off that?" when one of his employees tried to clamp down on piracy. This led to Xbox Live Arcade being created in the long run. How do you feel about these modded Xbox units and Xbox Live Arcade? So I'm gonna go really fast. I love my modded Xbox. The fact that you can easily mod it is ridiculous because it only took me like 5 minutes. It can play modded disc. I can rewrite the disc no problem and put games on there with the Quicks program. It's super easy to make Xbox ISOs. It's fucking nuts. I don't know how easy it is on the PlayStation 2. I might try it someday. Someone told me, "Oh, you need DVD-R disc," so I'm gonna try it on there someday. But it is cool that I can just play whatever I want on there. As for Xbox Live Arcade, I don't know. Didn't they just have that idea during the 360 time and they never brought it back?
There was the 360 Xbox Live Arcade did start on the original Xbox. It was a very early digital download service.
Okay.
But the 360, they really improved it and made its own thing. So if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have gotten really great 360 games. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with this too. I think because if I want to go back and play old arcade games, I think I have RetroArch and Fightcade. So it shouldn't be that much of a hassle on consoles if someone wants to go back and play something online, just pair up. I remember Sega was trying to do like a lot of old retro games as well as some Nintendo properties. I saw I think I saw Double Dragon 2 on PlayStation 4, so it's good that it's still around to some capacity.
Oh yeah, and it
Oh.
inspired essentially what would become the 360's digital download setup. If it wasn't for Live Arcade, the way 360 downloaded games probably wouldn't be anywhere near what it was by the 360.
Yeah, so more arcade ports, more ports from retro games where we can play online. It needs to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Please.
So anyone else have any opinions about this?
Bill Gates is go. Mod systems are the best, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I guess that's the easy way to sum it up. Anyone else?
Ditto. There. That's
Ditto.
my, there's my input. I actually don't really remember the Xbox Live Arcade very much. But it does sound like it did open the doors for a lot of people to just bring those older games for people to experience them for the first time, for those that missed out or probably missed out on the arcades in general. Kind of sucks because of the decline of arcades over the years, but because now you got them in your home, so
And the Westerners are lazy. That's why.
yeah, that too. That sucks. So yeah, I think that might be the only downfall of it, but other than that, just people being able to experience those things for the first time, that's pretty cool. And it's good. It's good stuff. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we got the final question here. Anyone else want to go before I close off? All right.
Meh.
We're good.
All right. So
Homosexuality.
to close off this podcast, how would you personally evolve backwards compatible Xbox games sold in the future? What title would you like to see remastered from the original Xbox in 4K?
Oh, that's easy, man. Every single Sega game that released on the platform.
Yeah,
That's already your
Yeah,
future.
that's
Come on.
yeah, of course.
I'm sure everyone's gonna say that due to how rare these goddamn games are.
Here's what I'll say. They've done pretty well with the program they have for Xbox One right now for the backwards compatibility updates and making them really well. I think every Xbox, like every backwards compatible game is 1080p on One X, with I think it being 720 around there on base. So if they can keep this up, especially leading into next gen, where they've pretty much confirmed, like, they're not going to get rid of the backwards compatibility team, because fuck, they pretty much saved the Xbox One for a little bit there. I want to see them improve the emulation, try to get it to where it's not really the download emulation, where it's just on console emulation from the disc.
Or just play from the hardware itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that might increase the price on the consoles, but you know,
we're spending like $400 to $500 as it is, though. Like, fuck.
I know, but I'm not paying like an extra $100 just for backwards compatibility.
You did for the Kinect, though.
No, I actually paid $5 for my Kinect. I bought it at GameStop when they sold it. They were just throwing them away.
I wonder why.
So Bane, how do you feel about the Kinect not detecting men of the African American variety?
I thought it was kind of funny, as in the kind of like.
Wait, is
like,
that
how do you,
true?
Yeah, that's true.
It had a hard time detecting?
Yes, it did.
Oh my god.
To be fair, it was the original Kinect, the 360 Kinect.
That's not the point. That's terrible.
The 360 Kinect was like a 240p camera glued into a box.
I just remember one guy ranting. He was ranting so hard, and he was saying, "I have to wear a white T-shirt to be detected."
Oh, that's terrible.
I was like, "Oh my god, that's awful."
That
to be fair,
is really shitty.
it did it with everybody, not just like black people.
I know, but that's really shitty.
Man. The original design for Kinect was supposed to be a better camera, but Don Sweaty Balls Matrick decided to cut costs on it.
Bane is like, you know what? I'm Sam Fisher. I could be semi-detected. I'm just fine.
Well, no, I'm dragging fucking Don Matrick really fast a little bit here too.
Yeah, that's your best friend though.
No, fuck you. Don Matrick was like watching a date rapist take your sister out for lunch.
What?
Yeah,
I have no comment on that one. I'm moving on. I have no comment there.
Yeah, so
it's a good analogy. Fuck you.
Backwards compatibility, am I right?
Yeah, what about that backwards compatibility
what about
life?
That backwards 4K, huh? Anybody?
Considering they've gotten a few 360 games in 4K now, I can only imagine next gen we're going to see original Xbox games in 4K. Some of them hold up very well with the backwards compatibility, like Panzer Dragoon Order looks amazing.
Ninja Gaiden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden looks fucking great. So I can only expect them to improve. And next gen, if the specs are correct, there's no way in hell they wouldn't be able to do 4K.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I'm not nothing.
Also, all right, here's an extra topic really fast add on to this. You guys think they'll do an Xbox Classic? Sorry, go on.
It'd be nice, I think.
Everyone else is doing it, so why not?
Do you think they'll fuck it up like a PlayStation Classic, or?
Honestly, I don't know. It could be 50-50. Literally 50-50. They have the blueprints. And just do it.
Yeah, I don't know. With the capacity of the games, it would probably have maybe 25 at best.
I mean, that's 5 more than a PlayStation Classic.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 deal. We if they did it, we don't know how Microsoft would handle it, but
have they?
They do have a good library of games that they could use for Xbox Classic, so I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah. I don't know. Have they been releasing any more Xbox original backwards compatible things too?
There's a rumor they're gonna announce some of them in E3.
Okay, well that's something.
Get hyped for old games.
Those take longer though, because you have to get the rights back for all those games.
Oh, true. That's why
Like
Jet Set
renderware
Radio
and all that.
Future hasn't,
Oh god, I can only imagine what kind of nightmares that must go through for fucking licenses.
Yeah, because I know Hideki Naganuma, the composer, he's not with Sega anymore, and I don't know if obviously they still have the rights because they're selling T-shirts on the Sega store. So
well, merchandising rights is different than like music or
right.
It's a weird uphill battle, but if Jet Set Radio Future gets announced for backwards compatibility at E3, I think I'll fucking shit my pants.
That is valid.
I don't think I'll have that much excitement for anything else this year.
That's fortunate.
All right, people, we are about to wind down and do outros so we can get up out of here. We've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes, so I think it was a great podcast.
Yeah.
You could sort of throw Bane in the river, but it's whatever.
Nah.
I was a little late. It happens.
You can still drown him, do all that. But we're gonna do our outros here. So, Mr. Bane, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Fuzhou, Fuzhou. I recently, like a couple days ago, made an E3 predictions video, and it's horribly accurate for a lot of it, or at least it will be. I just know. Well, some of it I have insider information on, but that's a different story.
Don't snitch yourself out to the public.
I'll snitch one thing, but I'm so excited for Gears this year. All right, and that's where you can find me. I'm not even chilling my Twitter at this point. I'm just chilling that.
All right, so Kaz, where can we find you?
All right, you can find me on YouTube at Kaz. Just look up Kaz's Backlog. Yeah, I do reviews and things, and I stream every few weekends. Currently working on some stuff, so please look forward to more content this summer.
V?
This is Vino. You can find me on YouTube at Vino. You can find me on Twitter at iVino, and Twitch. Find me at Vino. My uploading and stream schedule is very, very inconsistent, but there will always be time for content to come as soon as I'm ready.
Also, can you spell your name out to the audience in case?
Oh, yeah.
Because that always confuses people.
Vienough.
There you go.
Vienna sausage.
Vienna sausage. All right, so Brandon, where can we find you, buddy?
You can find me at FUCKYOU. All
right.
Okay. Or you can find me on Twitter at Immortal Brandel. My Pornhub account, at None Your Damn Business.
Find my Pornhub account at Mr. Lister, the Sister Fister at Pornhub.com.
Where does Bane? Where does this nigga go sometimes?
I mean, Bane. I said Bing by accident. Bane is like Bane's like the ultimate wingman. He says stupid shit, and you get the ladies.
Hey, I offer $500 for my services. Not those kind of services. Before you even go that way.
Look, we don't solicit prostitution here.
Hey.
Oh
boy. I'm only a whore for McDonald's chicken tenders, all right?
See, there you go.
There's
There you go.
absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
All right, so you can find me on YouTube at Renegade Operative. You can find me on Twitter at RenOperative_.
Lame.
I uploaded some shit that you can watch, and we're doing like E3, so look at all our random skeptical shenanigans during the weekend. You can find me on Pornhub at Black Guy Fucks 80 White Bitches. I mean,
Toxic Panda Man 69.
Wow.
You can find me in a panda suit, slapping some titties at Six Flags and
whacking off the furries.
No, sir. No. I might take
knock them down.
I might take requests, but I am not a furry. Anyway, this is Renegade Operative, and this
I'm
is
confused on what you mean by that now.
Look, you don't have to though. We have to sign off this podcast. So this is this is the IAS signing out. Weird shit aside. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and once again, take care of yourselves.
Demonetized.
Oh,
Yep.
yes, Diddley.
Yeah.
Hang on, you thought we were getting monetization?
Thank God we aren't partnered because holy shit. I think about
Yeah.
I think about the 80th sexual joke in YouTube will be like, fam, what are you doing? What are you guys doing?
Get down the bottom of the list, sir. Bottom of the list.